Mike, when you look at that last drive Jackson had, just obviously after the interception, how pleased were you with the poise he showed to focus and lead that drive for a touchdown?
Yeah, it was really a great execution all the way around, across the board. We were taking some shots downfield. Guys were tired. They had to dig deep. And, obviously several guys made plays on that drive, whether it was downfield, getting there or getting the flag. But, yeah, it was cool to see, those guys go down there and get it.
Mike, we've come to expect that Andrew Thomas is a brick wall. How good is Illuminor playing on the other side, and what has that combination given you?
Yeah, Jermaine and AT are playing really good ball right now. I'd say across the board, all 5 guys are playing really good ball. And it was good to see Schlody jump in there when JMS went down. All 5 guys are doing a great job. GVR, Runyon, they're battling. They're playing some good fronts up front. And so, we're going to need the same effort this week.
What does it say about Jackson that he can go in there and play at a pretty high level in that kind of environment as a rookie?
Yeah, I got a lot of confidence in Jackson and the whole group, right? And so for Jackson to step up in that environment, against that crew and everyone else around him too, to kind of raise their game and go and step up and make plays as well, is impressive. And that's something that I told him I was really proud of, for those guys to go in there and compete and battle all the way to the end.
Just 2 quick ones if I can. JMS is cleared. Is he back in the starting lineup?
Well, I don't know what Dave's caught on the injury stuff. I'll let Dave just talk about it. Just go
and then a lot of people outside have been asking, why didn't they burn more clock before they scored with 37 seconds left? Is that even an option in your mind? Can you is there a way to forego a touchdown?
I think it's hard to tell, an NFL football player to not score at the one. We were looking to score points. It's a really good defense. I think they were number 1 in the league in red zone. So, we had an opportunity to go score, so we called our best play.
Mike, it seems like Jackson's really recognizing what the defense wants to do against him at the line of scrimmage, which seems to be way ahead of his prime. He's just a rookie 4 games in. It looked like he came up to the line and that Belgian touchdown checked to another play. Even a Tracy touchdown looked like he checked another play. Talk about his progress. In 4 games in, he seems to really recognize what defenses want to do against him.
Yeah, Jackson does a great job. It starts with his preparation and just identifying these keys that that we go through: man coverage IDs, zone coverage IDs, and then on top of that, it's putting together a good plan for him so that he can go execute. But he's got to see it, he's got to feel it, and then all the guys around him got to go do their jobs as well. So it's never about one guy. I always see it as an 11-man operation. I think. Jackson is carrying the mental load in terms of understanding what we're trying to get done and take advantage of the certain looks, and he's going out there and execute.
Mike, when you look at the DPI you were able to get down on the throw to Bo, from the outside it's, hey, you got lucky in the sense you get a flag, but when you break down that play, what did those guys do well on that to give them an opportunity to get the flag?
Well, it started up front. The protection, gave Jackson time to evaluate downfield. Jackson stepped up and kind of scrambled down to his right, and I think it was Bo outside. He was playing Z, and he saw the scramble drill. He peeled it back and had a head start on the DB. Jackson saw him downfield and put it up and was able to get to that.
In that situation, if Bo doesn't, fight
it was
back
third.
for the
It was
ball,
3rd and long, so you're trying to get. You got 2 downs left, so you're trying to get some of that back. So you're calling a play to kind of get a chunk, put yourself maybe in a 4th and favorable, and then give yourself another chance downfield. So we got bailed out by the call, and sometimes that happens.
I guess that's my point. Like we say bailout, but if you guys didn't execute the play, you wouldn't even gotten an opportunity to get that flag. So
sure.
Like in that situation, if Bo had just kind of kept running and not done his job, you don't get that flag. It probably gets picked in that situation. And
that's the beauty of our guys right now is we have young guys, whether it's rookies like Bo in there, older veteran guys up front, Wandell, we have guys of all ages across the board that are stepping up, and it's things that we practice in the spring, the scramble drill, that we know you never know when it's going to happen. And when you have athletic quarterbacks, that could happen at any play. 1st, 2nd, 3rd down, 4th down, 2-minute, those things are going to show up. So the coaches have done a great job of emphasizing it, and then the players got to go execute it. And we talk about the certain details of the scramble drill, where you got to be, the spots that so-called hot spots in the scramble drill that show up for you downfield, how to work it when you're on a different level than the quarterback, or when the quarterback rolls left or when he rolls right. How do you fit in the scramble drill? Where are you and who are you? And so, we detail those things up, and the guys do a great job when Jackson has gone up and scrambled. And if there's nothing there, he's done a good job of using his legs. So that's the dynamic part of having a quarterback that can use that part of the field.
On the interception, how did you weigh in that moment whether to run the ball, make them use their timeout, and still try to get the first versus throwing the ball?
Yeah, I think, those decisions always come down to just your confidence level in the quarterback and in the players. And, I have a tremendous amount of confidence in Jackson and in the ability to put the ball in his hands in certain situations, whether it's third down, whether it's fourth down. You saw that in the Chargers game, third down in the Chargers game to Theo, big play. You saw it at the end of the game against Denver, first and goal at the 1, putting the ball in his hands. And as coaching staff, we got to do a great job of studying and understanding, all right, in those situations, what do we want to get to? Are they going to be a max pressure team? Are they a max, do they drop everybody, or do they max pressure it? So, you weigh the options of, all right, max protection, getting 2 guys on routes that are runaways that are going to be open and work your 2 best players with max protection with the ball in Jackson's hand. That was something I felt really confident about, just because of the amount of production and things that he's done over the course of his time here. And really, after evaluating and watching every single pass that he has been as a New York Giant, I have got a lot of confidence in putting the ball in his hands there and putting the ball in our offensive line's hands, and having the ability for our skill guys to go. So, sure, hindsight, you can look at it and evaluate it, but when we talked about it as a staff early in the week, you look at the gotta have it's and the plays that we like, that was the one that was high on our list. We talked about it really 2 drives before that even came up in the 4-minute and gotta have it's. We talk about it on Saturday nights, same thing. We go through the checklist and walk through those plays and talk about them. So, when you get in that situation, it's an easy, fast call. The guys can get up and go, and then go operate it.
Last drive ended well, but when you go back and review it, is there any part, like, he put the ball at risk a few times there? Does it say, like, hey, just calm down, even though it's a 2-minute drill, like, we don't need to go for a home run when it's 1st and 10, like, after the penalty?
Which play referencing?
The 2 guys collided. Probably should have intercepted at the goal line to post after you got the first down with the roughing the pass there. Yeah. I mean, it's always a fine line of, like, when you're coaching the quarterbacks, of the aggressiveness and over aggressiveness, and we always talk about it, being aggressive, not reckless. And so, those plays downfield, I think the quarterbacks, if he makes that decision, I support it, and he's going downfield to be aggressive. He has a reason for it. And that's, again, going back to the trust level with your quarterback and with your group.
You said you had the trust in Jackson to do that the interception play. Because he threw the interception, does any of that confidence wane now?
It doesn't. It really doesn't. Just for the simple fact that, I know he's going to come back and do it again, and go back and make that play. He's done it. He's proven that he can do it. And, I don't really second guess the call. I don't have any regrets over it, besides the fact that it got picked. It's one of those things that happens in football, but you saw that from him, though. He never really flinched. Like, of course he's upset, but boom, we get back another drive and we're able to get back on the horse, and then him go make plays that he did to give ourselves a chance. I mean, that gives us, more confidence. And again, in the game, it's not like we wavered as a unit. It's not like we wavered as a team. We went right back to him on 1st and goal at the 1. So I think that's kind of where I'm at with Jackson.
What have your tight ends shown you since the last couple of weeks? I mean, specifically Bellinger, who had not really been part of the receiving game in quite some time. Mm-hmm. What have they shown you since you went to this more emphasis on 2 tight ends?
Well, Belly, since Belly been here as a rookie, he's done nothing but just been consistent in his approach, consistent with his play. So, each week will be a little bit different in how we want to attack a defense, but over the course of the last couple of weeks, Bellinger was part of that plan, and no surprise to me, he came up big and making plays and doing the right things in both the run and the pass game. Guy that we're going to lean on is one of the leaders of the group, and a guy that I have full confidence in.